I'm voting yes because I think Scotland would be much better in the long run away from the clutches of Westminster. I also believe that Scotland would have the resources to stand on her own 2 feet, and basically that is my reason for voting yes. I think Scotland can stand on its own 2 feet. I think it can be a wealthy country, and I think we can look after our children and our grandchildren and their children. I think, well, do you know, it's maybe not so much Westminster itself, but it's certainly London. And I think an awful lot of people, even in the rest of England, would say that there are many things wrong with Westminster. I mean, I know for a fact from speaking to people in the northeast of England, they feel very let down very often. Everything just seems to centre around London and Westminster. If you're talking about a union and having a whole country, then it should be a whole country. And I think the whole thing at the minute is fragmented, and all the power, all the wealth, everything to me seems to centre around Westminster. So I really think we would be better off without them. Norway, of course, is, I think I'm right in saying something like the 4th richest country in the world, and the comparisons to Scotland are many. We have a similar population's about the same size. We have similar resources. The Norwegian government have run their economy very, very well, and I think it's a good comparison to compare the two countries, simply because of that. They have a very, very good lifestyle in Norway. Everyone's looked after. I think they're a good model for Scotland to follow, and I see no reason why we can't. I think it's absolutely incredible, to be honest. I think it's incredibly short-sighted how you could vote on a subject that is like this, that is so important, on the basis of liking or disliking a personality. I think it's very, very short-sighted. Whether you like the man or not, at the end of the day, it really has nothing to do with it. I mean, if it's not Alex Salmond really we should be thinking that we're voting for what the whole thing stands for. We could have independence, and we can get rid of Alex Salmond if we want, quite easily at some point. So I cannot get that way of thinking that oh, I don't like him, I don't like the man. That's a very strange one to me. I think that's very possible. I'm not quite sure what would happen a long time as regards England, the south of England, the northeast of England, the northwest of England, Birmingham, the Midlands, Yorkshire. I think what could happen is that things may close in, and you might tend to find that there will be more pockets of counties or regions that might want to look at, you know, some other way of distancing themselves from Westminster. I think in the future that's entirely possible. Well, part of my problem is that because I've been away now from Orkney for so long, I'm kind of out of the picture. I mean, I came over here last week and I haven't really heard that much about it up here. I mean, I had it in my head that Orkney would be an absolute and definite no. Quite why I thought that, I'm not sure, but I've certainly been very surprised by the level of support for the Yes campaign up here. I've been very pleasantly surprised, in fact. Just, I think, to be able to look after ourselves and look after our children I think it's this, again, for me, it kind of comes back to the long arm of Westminster, because I honestly don't believe that, I don't believe they understand Scotland's, I mean, we're a different country, we have different culture, we have different traditions. And I would also like to say that, of course, none of this is in any way anti-English. That's the thing that always has annoyed me greatly about some pockets of, you know, some people that say, well, all we need to do is get rid of the English, and everything will be rosy. It's not like that at all, and it's certainly not anti-English. Certainly not for me, anyway. So that side of it sometimes disappoints me a little bit. But again, the other side that disappoints me a lot from the no side is the scaremongering that has been and continues to go on. That annoys me. So, as I say, for me, it's certainly nothing to do with an anti-English thing. I just feel that Scotland is a very rich country in heritage and culture, and the arts, of course, which is very important to me. And I really believe that we could stand on our own 2 feet.